Hi, I'm Mary Pradhan with Climatic Group, and I'm here with
Marko Svetina from BM2 Solar. I'm the founder and CPO of BM2 Solar.
Awesome. Well, my first question for you are what are IPPs, independent power producers, missing out on by not optimizing batteries?
Okay, that's a big question. So, a lot of IPPs are financial based or companies that come out of financial world. They do typically have limited access to several markets which we discuss or which are typically supporting the energy system. So we could call them kind of the exclusive club of the large energy companies. So if I don't know, it's called, it's like a gentleman's club. Let's put it this way. So once the utilities basically are basically do the optimizations across a number of markets, there's not much really left on markets like they had, and that is where I think the IPPs lose the most. So they just don't have the keys. If they have the keys, there is a lot of technology how to use them. So that's I would say in short.
Okay, interesting. And how should operators balance short-term revenue with long-term asset performance?
Short-term revenue versus long-term asset performance. So, in my opinion, the prices on short-term are, the asset should be used. So performance is obviously is important, or I would say probably it's much better to use the asset much more short-term than to save it for like flexibility. Price of flexibility right now is probably much higher than it will be in 5 years. So on the other side, important to know is how to do it, and as said before. So I think the biggest part is to be able to predict the dynamics of the prices inside or the spreads inside of the markets, which are increasing dramatically, and between different products. That's the biggest part.
And, obviously revenue is a driving metric, but what other metrics should investors and operators be focused
on? I think it's actually the agility. So if we had, so the energy systems were typically planned with forecasts of whatever 20 years, 25 years. We don't have that anymore. So basically the system should be agile enough not to support just one market, or if you're lucky enough to get a contract which basically supports your investment in, I don't know, 20 years, that's great. But what is really important is to be able to have the possibility to address several markets at the same time, or at least one after another, because each little change of rules can have dramatic impact on the development of prices on certain markets. So if you're locked into, I don't know, let's call it AFRR, for instance, that will be very risky. So agility is really, jumping from one train or one car to another, being able to use the tools that basically also the AI brings us today.
Okay. So market penetration metrics, it sounds like.
Yeah, I think two parts. One thing is basically to have a system which acts or which connects to all available or basically all available marketing options. Then behind it, it has to have the possibility. And this can be contractual, or you can build, or the investors can build their own on their own the systems. But if you have a battery is a new resource. The major advantage of battery is it can respond in basically in real time, right? In sub second. area, and this is where the value of the battery and the end is. How we can use it, we're limited with regulations, we're limited with market entrance rules or procedures, which are many times based on old systems, so or traditional assets. So we're trying now to incorporate a large number of renewables with its intermittency. Those, as mentioned before, they have access to a very limited number of markets with a very limited value. Now the question is, how can we increase the number of markets? How can we increase the value we can get from the same asset? But at the end, I think the low long-term cost of energy from renewables connected with battery is lower than from any kind of fossil-based fuels. So that, I think, alone will bring us into the place where basically renewables are one of the biggest, or the pillar that supports our energy system.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much, Marko, and I hope you have a great time at Solar.
Thanks a lot. Thanks. It was really a pleasure.